All right, family. We live once again. It's on with the general. Got another powerful presentation about to pop off right now. Did fallen angels help the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids? We're gonna talk about this myth that's being projected onto the world today. Expose that. But before we get started, family, I wanted to make sure you get over there to my Patreon. Over 500 exclusive live streams, all powerful, mind blowing, exhilarating videos. Check me out. Nothing like the general, the popping his page on Patreon. Also, check me out, kingseti.com, online marketplace, official General SETI products, DVDs, t-shirts, and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry. Get you some, fly family. Get over there, get you some, fly. You can become a member of my YouTube page, General SETI, Sarasum SETI, and gain access to some exclusive material, videos you already know. And give the video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. Comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because you will. You'll get banned, family, and we don't want to do that. All right, did fallen angels help the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids? We got to talk about that. Not that we here because we understand what the Nephilim is. You know, we understand that we got giants on this earth. Okay, and just like many animals have been hunted, many of the giants have also been hunted. And so these tall giants that's in our race, the Manute Bowles, the Shaquille O'Neals, and all of that. These is the Nephilim that they talking about. But now they talking about some mythological giants that supposedly are the children of the fallen angels. And anything to not give Africans credit for building the pyramids. It's just that's all it boiled down to. That's all it boiled down to is not giving African people the credit for the pyramids that they built in their own indigenous continent. Okay, so for a while the pale man tried to take credit, but when he knew that lie had been totally blown to smithereens, the alien myth came in. Anything not to give black people the whatever they use, it was their own consciousness. You see, their own consciousness. Much of it is still there. Much of it is still there. They, a lot of the technology. The one thing about ancient Egypt, which they not gonna tell people, I mean, they left little models of everything that they did. You understand what I'm saying? They got carvings all over the wall. So it's really not as big a myth as people want to believe, because they clearly left evidence in how it's done. May be hard. You can look up and see some evidence, but that don't mean you could do it. You see what I'm saying? That don't mean you could do it. You could see an outline of how they did it, but that still don't mean you could do it. You see? And so, but let's expose I can believe that, because our people had achieved such greatness that, and they had tapped into so many different sciences and technology that'll blow the mind. Is nothing, that's not hard for me to believe that they could tap into some frequency energy like that. No, it's not hard for me to believe. But this mythological story, just to back the Bible up, just to steal the legacy from the Africans, because they were saying that the Hebrews did it. Now, who did it? Was it the Hebrew slaves, or was it the fallen angels? Was it the Nephilim? Now let's see, is there any validity of the fallen angels having, given the Egyptians the technology to build the pyramids? Let's talk about that. Is there any evidence? Because there's a lot of people out here. You just need a video to go up. You ain't trying to get to know truth. You ain't trying to get to know truth. You just trying to put a video up and and mesmerize the people's mind. And so what does it say about the falling angels building or giving the knowledge to the ancient Egyptians on how to build the pyramid? And so I asked the AI, is there any evidence of any fallen angels anywhere given? And it says no. No historical or archaeological evidence supports the idea that fallen angels gave Egyptians the knowledge to build the pyramids. No historical or archaeological evidence. The belief comes from later, listen to me, the belief comes from later religious mythological tradition, like today. The Billy Carsons and all these other people coming up with this, outer space garbage. You see the modern Blavatskys, the Aleister Crowleys and all that. You see, this belief come from later religious mythological traditions, not from Egyptian records or material evidence. So a lot of people say things, but there's no records from Egypt that supports that or material evidence. Where the idea comes from, we got to talk about that, family. Where does the idea come from? The Watchers tradition. The concept traces mainly to the book of Enoch. You see, especially 1 Enoch 6-8, verse 6-8, which says, Watchers, fallen angels, taught humans metallurgy, astronomy, magic, secret knowledge. But you have to understand, this is esoterical understanding. When people use these is the great priests of ancient Egypt. These ain't no angels that didn't fell out of ain't nobody ever seen nothing, no man flying through the air with no wings on his back. I'm sick of this. Okay? There is no man ever or that I ever seen with wings on his back flying through the sky. Okay? We got to stop this insanity. You see? So important. And even though people bring up Enoch never mentions pyramids. Even when you go into the book of Enoch, it never mentions pyramids. Okay? It focuses on moral corruption, not engineering projects. It's not part of the Hebrew Bible, though influential. Okay? And so you don't find it even in the Hebrew Bible. Now, they was lying trying to say where the Hebrews helped build the pyramids. Now they want to say fallen angels, Nephilim. We're going to get to the Nephilim, who supposedly are the children of these fallen angels. You see, anything to not give African people, even though they got models showing family building, all the tools are there. All the tools have been found. They didn't found it's like areas where the architects, the masons stayed. They didn't got broken bones, and you got all of that over there. They didn't found that. They didn't found the work crew stations where the work crews lived and things, because they built areas for the work crew. So we know for a fact that our people put the pyramids there. Okay, and all this fabricated information, again, is a part of the great stolen legacy of African people. Later esoteric and modern theories. In the 19th and 20th centuries, writers blended Enoch material, Greek myths, Atlanteans, modern UFO, ancient alien ideas. And that sounds just like Billy Carson, again, ancient aliens, and then all of these people. These reinterpretations are modern, not ancient Egyptian. Okay, so ain't nowhere in ancient Egypt where they say Thoth the Atlantean came and wrote an emerald tablet, left it in a pyramid. Okay, you can't find that in ancient Egypt. That's something that somebody wrote in the modern times to redirect your mind away from your great legacy, because they know once you plug back in, you back on the path to becoming great again. So they tried to throw all these misdirections at you, so you don't get to the truth that this is you, this is your legacy, this is your ancestral legacy. People coming up with anything to keep you away from it. Okay, we got to wake up. These reinterpretations are modern, not ancient Egyptian. What the Egyptians themselves say. Egyptian texts released and archaeology show human builders, pyramid workers, villages. They got them there. One Het El Garab. You can look that up. They already pyramid workers, villages, skeletons showing hard labor, but medical care. So the skeletons show hard labor, but medical care. You understand? They wrap the broken bones up, trying to heal bones, and graffiti naming work crews friends of Khufu. So they were there, and they got carvings letting them friends of Khufu. These were graffiti. They was even writing graffiti on the tombs and the pyramid. Documented engineering evolution shows from the mastaba. I went over that for you, from the mastaba, and I can even go before the mastaba and show you how the little small, out, what they call, out closures, where they put something over the grave, but it was smaller than a mastaba. They started real small, you see, and then it became bigger and became the mastaba. So I can even go before the mastaba. But from the mastaba, where Imhotep stacked them, 6 mastabas on top of one another, forming the first pyramid, the step pyramid of Saqqara. Okay, from the step pyramid of Zolja to the bent pyramid to the true pyramid. So we showing you trial and error visible in stone. So ain't no if some damn falling why would he have to evolve like that? You see, it wouldn't have been no. They would have just, why would a fallen angel or a Nephilim got to evolve? If you got that kind of godly knowledge, why would you have to? So they show you the errors, the trial and error. Okay, and so they coming up slowly but surely, and so that's evidence right there in itself. It names the architects. Imhotep was named on the step pyramid. And then you see royal oversight under Khufu. Nothing supernatural is required to explain the process. Period. What are you talking about? We got to stop this nonsense. Everything you can do so you can steal the legacy of African people. Why the fallen angel idea persists? Listen. But see, they're not gonna give all this. It said the pyramids are all inspiring, and they know good and well that people ain't had nothing to do with it. And so, because they have disregarded Black people, African people, all forever, and have wrote such horrible history on our people, saying that we had created no history, we had created nothing monumental in history. And so they continue to create fabricated stories to make sure that the credit does not go to us. That's just what it is. And so ancient people are wrongly assuming to be primitive. Ancient people are wrongly assumed to be what does that mean? That we somehow believe we are more advanced today than in the ancient world. And that's just not true. It's just not true. We cannot do what, again, Egypt lasted for 3,000 years. You think America gonna last 3,000 years? Britain Empire lasted for 200 and collapsed. The Greeks only lasted for 200, 300, 400 years, collapsed. Rome only lasted for 3, 4, maybe 500 and collapsed. So you could put Greece, Rome, the Islamic empire, you can put them all together and it still can fit inside of ancient Egypt, the length of the civilization of ancient Egypt. You see? So they don't want to give our people the credit because they didn't talk so ridiculously bad about our people. And now we got, we get the last laugh because the truth is not being revealed. And they would rather give a credit to an alien. They would rather give credit to some fallen angel. I would like for you to call these fallen angels up right now. Get them on the main line. They say, call Jesus on the main. Call him up. We want you to contact us by way of three-way and call us. When you call Jesus, call me on the three-way. I want to talk to Jesus too. Real talk. Biblical perspective is important. Even in the Bible, advanced skills come from human lineages. Okay? You see? When angels intervene, the result is judgment, not monuments. So they didn't come and show nobody none. If you see an angel, it's a judgment being, cast down on you. So it never at no time show where angels in the Bible taught somebody some knowledge. And even though we know what it is, this is, that's mythological speech or esoterical speech, there's nothing to back that up. So again, what are you doing? And it's a lot of black people that is in the esoteric and they fumbling, looking silly. That's what it is. You looking silly. The pyramids predate Abraham, Moses, and the Exodus by centuries. The Bible never links Egypt's architecture to fallen angels. You see? Never. The Bible never links Egypt's architecture to fallen angels. What we can say responsibly, let's listen, claim fallen angels built pyramids, supported? No. Evidence Egypt had advanced mathematics and engineering? Yes. Knowledge passed over generations? Yes. Egypt credited God symbolically? Yes. Symbolically, yes. But the records show that it was man that put it there. Direct supernatural instruction, no evidence whatsoever. No evidence whatsoever. Sick of it. Okay, sick of it. So the final takeaway, the pyramids were built by highly organized, intelligent African societies using mathematics, astronomy, labor management, long-term state planning, which you do not have in this mythological nationhood that you profess in today, that the Greeks and the Romans failed. The Romans lasted but the Byzantine lasted more than the Western branch of the Roman Empire, where Rome was the capital, did not last that long, failed. You see, no long-term state planning, want to conquer. You didn't really have that internal wisdom and spirituality like the ancient Egypt. So you was always warring, and that became your demise. You did not have long-term state planning, and believe that fallen angels taught this knowledge belongs to theological speculation, not history. Okay, so all this belief that fallen angels taught this knowledge to the ancient Egyptians belonged to theological speculation, not history. That doesn't make the pyramids less impressive. It makes the Egyptians more impressive. Okay, it makes the Egyptians more impressive. And then you got those that say the Nephilim. The Nephilim ain't nothing but the same story. There's no biblical text, Egyptian text, or archaeological evidence that the Nephilim, and I can go into that esoterically because I know what it is. But what they trying to say is not what it is. They trying to actually create a mythological Nephilim, the birth of some giants that could be 50 feet tall, come from some fallen angels of God, Gabriel and whatever they was. And they came and mixed, from the heavens and come down here and impregnated women and created this race that they call Nephilim. But we understand that the Nephilim are the natural giants on the planet that come from our people. That's who that is. We did research on that to show that that's an esoterical understanding. So we understand what it means. But for those people, they don't accept that. They accept this theological speculation that some angels impregnated some women and created some monsters on the planet that's 50 feet tall. And so there's no biblical text, Egyptian text, or archaeological evidence that the Nephilim helped build the pyramids. You can see the methodologies in what they use, but our people was using almost 100% of their mind, where today people were only using 10%. So they had tapped in because they hadn't been shut down. They were still connected to the universe. Our peoples were still connected, still using all the functions of the body and the mind. And so they were tapping into areas of the mind that has been locked down through all this poison of beliefs and things that have been piled on us today. We can't see past that today. We can't see past that. And so, okay, so the claim comes from later speculative interpretations, not from ancient sources. What the Bible actually says about the Nephilim appear once in the Torah. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward. Okay, that's Genesis 6, verse 4. Key points: the verse does not mention Egypt, does not mention construction, does not credit them with technology or architecture. The context is moral corruption leading to the flood, not engineering. After the flood, the Nephilim disappeared from the narrative. Okay. Later texts people point to, but they don't say this either. The book of Enoch described watchers teaching humans magic, metallurgy, and forbidden knowledge. Never mentions pyramids. The knowledge leads to violence and judgment, not civilization building. Okay, the knowledge leads to violence and judgment, not civilization building. No part of the Hebrew Bible, no part of the Hebrew Bible, even here, pyramids are absent. So you don't find nothing in the Bible that speaks to what people is talking about, that these Nephilim and these fallen angels build any type of pyramid. What evidence shows human builders, clearly documented. And we went over that. We show that you see quarry ramps, sledges, and logistic systems. You see that. You see quarry ramps where they slide them up and down the stones, sledges, where you put the blocks on the sledges, and some of them they had them roll, but some of them, that's if you're on the flat ground, they had them rollers up under the sledges where they roll it and then they take the roll from in the back and they keep putting it in the front and they pull it. You understand? Just like that. And so you see this. Tool marks consistent with copper tools and stone hammers. That's what it's saying, okay? But our people was tapping into 100% of their mind. So if you only tapping into 5% of your mind, less than 10%, you ain't gonna never understand. Our people wasn't trapped and imprisoned with today's dogma, step-by-step architectural. We went over that master step pyramid, bent pyramid, true pyramid, visible trial and error over generations. You see them making the mistakes. They correct the mistakes until they get to the true pyramid. So we have shot down any. So why the idea persist? The pyramids are astonishing. Ancient people are underestimated. Myth language is mistaken for history. All this crazy is mistaken for history, and people got to understand this is esoterical language to hide some truth that they don't want everybody to know, because they're going to shit on it just like they're doing right now. modern ancient giant aliens that you see on the History Channel culture popularize the claim. They trying to steal our legacy, family. Okay, trying to steal so the Nephilim helped build pyramids. No, angels gave engineering knowledge. No, Egyptians developed math and logistics. Yes, human labor force built pyramids. Yes, African labor force built pyramids. Yes, religious symbolism later mythologized. Okay, mythologized. Okay, religious symbolism later mythologized. Okay, and so the final takeaway: the pyramids were built by skilled African engineers, planners, and workers of ancient Kemet. The Nephilim tradition is about moral judgment, not monumental architecture. Attributing the pyramids to Nephilim takes credit away from real ancient Africans who actually built them, and the evidence overwhelmingly supports human achievement. Man, y'all better quit playing. Y'all better quit playing. We on our square today. We on our square today. We not going for that. We not going for that. So yeah. And I'm gonna get to the visuals, man. You know, chemistry. Appreciate you. I got some new work. You see what I'm saying there? But I'm tightening it up. It's a new age, and I'm coming out like whoa. I'm coming up like Imhotep. So y'all stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? I'm sharpening my sword right now, and so but I will be. But the lecture gonna be exquisite. I'm just letting y'all know when y'all see me come out in the new age of General Seti, Sarasu Seti, with the visual, it's gonna be stunning. You know, y'all still out there taking my work right now because it was so astounding when I came. And wait till the new era of what's gonna drop on the family. It's gonna be mind blowing. Make sure you get over there to Patreon, support the General now, and KingSeti.com, become a member of General Seti, Sarasu Seti YouTube page today, and I'll be right back real soon. Arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that Wicked Beast Daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Boom, Black Pop.